As we walked into the musty morgue where bodies had been stacked, the last thing I saw before the lights went out. Oh, you thought we were gonna start in the death chamber? Y'all are just so easy. Look, I'll tell you all about the poltergeist in the hotel here, but rewind. First, I need to show you the town that rests under the watchful eye of the haunted hotel high above it. It's equally full of history and hocus pocus. Follow me across and up the rainbow. Welcome to Eureka Springs. Let's address a few logistics here. It's a hamlet of impossibly steep and narrow switchback roads and roller coaster inspired cross streets. I can barely walk these roads and now subsequently have a wicked case of shin splints. But do not, I repeat, do not bring your big RV into this town. It will not make it. The Babe Bus barely made it. To make matters worse, parking is as scarce as a fully dressed YouTuber. Yeah, that rare. Of course, the Indians found the magical springs in Eureka first, and then, like we do, we just took that right from them and did what Americans do best: exploit it. Dr. Jackson was the first in the late 1800s, bottling up Eureka Springs water and selling it as healing eye water. Word got out, and the medicinal springs and Eureka became a booming resort destination. Minor construction problem. Hastily building when your fire department's only water supply is a bubbling puddle. As such, Eureka Springs is forged by fire. Now held up by monumental retaining walls, rebuilt with limestone, and all connected by a maze of staircases bridging the different levels. The Basin Hotel famously has a ground floor on every floor, depending on which suspended staircase entrance you arrive on. Throw out your map and spend hours letting those hidden paths and stone stairwells be your tour guide. Tucked in the woods, you'll find the ruins of the past. An old brick school where some of the original students' names still remain in mosaic on the sidewalk. Abandoned classic cars are turning into potted plants. And at the end of most every secret woodland staircase, you are promised a new side street that looks right out of a fairy tale. Like the Penn Castle, it's yours for just $450,000. I was really surprised at how expensive it is to live in such a small town with not much in the way of employment besides tourism. According to the locals, this is the less than fairy tale fate of Eureka Springs. Every other private home appears to be converted into a guest house, and an alarming number of locals are leaving in droves to profit off their real estate here while living elsewhere. The fear, according to these residents, is that the neighborhoods will soon become a ghost town of the very people who have made Eureka Springs so special. And unique it is. Spend your paycheck at any number of the ultra hippy-dippy shops downtown. Or go on an Easter egg hunt for the numerous springs that have been safely preserved and protected for your enjoyment. Around the corner from this spring is a breathtaking overlook of the entire historic downtown. It's also the place where a police officer parked to catch up on some paperwork, only to watch a woman throw herself from the balcony at the Crescent Hotel there at the top of the hill. Or at least, he thought it was a woman. She's one of the many spirits that haunt the 78-room resort where, tonight, we're going to get personally introduced to those who once came for the springs and never left. The Crescent Hotel was the height of luxury before healing waters fell out of public favor. It became a women's college, and then Norman Baker arrived in 1937. He opened a cancer-curing clinic at the hotel that promised a full cure from his magical elixirs. Baker was not a doctor. He had zero medical training. He was just pure evil and knew how to make a profit.
And right here he had 2 reinforced steel doors installed.
His patients suffered greatly. There was no pain relief for those in the late stages of cancer, and he even went so far as to isolate them behind steel doors so they couldn't tell the new arrivals of their agony or that the elixirs weren't working. I won't introduce you to each of the spirits you'll meet here. You'll have to take the tour yourself. But I did have a few favorites. Room 218 is said to be the most haunted. Michael was a young stonemason who fell to his death here during construction. He was also a total ladies' man. He's known to rip the shower curtain back and cut off the hot water so that the unsuspecting lady in the buff begins to dance and jiggle all over the bathroom out of shock. Sigh. A moment of nostalgia for a time where men just tried to look at your boobs instead of sending you creepy pictures of their ding-dongs on social media. You may also meet the little boy who will throw his ball against your door late at night, or, my very favorite, the dead cat. Morris was the hotel cat and later named the general manager. He curls up near the fireplace occasionally. These are the friendly ghosts, but something far sinister is in the basement, exactly where we're going. Here, Norman Baker built a morgue. Since he could cure no one, they died here at the hotel. So that word wouldn't get out that he was a con man, he stored the bodies inside this large cooler, while still sending letters to loved ones about their great health progress. Oh, and that they needed more money for treatment. For the full experience, we are shut inside, the door is closed, and the light is shut off. It's quiet like the inside of a casket until some turd forgets to turn off his phone and the theme song to Dirty Dancing blasts into the body cooler. So much for that. Recently, the hotel unearthed jars and bottles full of cancers, tumors, and body parts. I don't really believe in ghosts, but I do know this. True evil is usually alive and in human form. Forms like Norman Baker. Whether you come for the healing waters, the history, or the haunted hotel, Eureka Springs will restore some part of you that still believes in magic, even if the parking really does suck.